Hello, we are Skoltech, and today we are excited to welcome you here in our beautiful campus. And we really hope that you will be able to feel this vibrant atmosphere here. So stay tuned and follow me. Hello everybody! Welcome to Skoltech and our online studio. My name is still Natalia Galchkina. I'm still head of admissions, and today I will be your individual guide around Skoltech. So, if you want to pursue a master program in science, technology, engineering, math, aka STEM, you have come to the right place, because today we will focus on master programs. Its structure, its educational process, the learning outcomes of each particular master program, and development opportunities. So we will share a lot. Please stay tuned. And just in case you are wondering about some general things about Skoltech, about like general education process, entrepreneurship and innovation activities, and student life, of course, we have a separate episode for you. So in the description, you can find the link to this particular episode and you can watch it as well. So, but today we really encourage you to focus on this particular recording and this particular broadcast. We will be here. So, sounds pretty good, right? So let's cut to the chase. So here's the quick overview of our journey today. You can see these time codes for each particular program, and we really, if there is a particular program of your interest, you can come to the broadcast by this time. But we really encourage you to stay here just to understand how diverse Skoltech is and how there are many possibilities and opportunities for students beyond each particular master program. As well, you will have an opportunity to ask the question. So again, in the comments, you can post your question about this or that master program, and we will answer it live. So we will try our best and do our best to answer all the questions, but the questions about programs will be answered live here. So I think it really sounds promising, but still, let me remind you just that we do accept applications, still accepting applications for our master programs in our Student Intelligent application at apply.skoltech.ru, and the deadline is July the 10th. So on July the 10th is the deadline. On July 11th, there will be online test on a particular master program, respective master program. And in case you are successful at the online test, and in case we like your portfolio, you will be invited to the next stage, which is very final one. At this next stage, the final stage, we will have an interview, admissions interview. There will be entrepreneurship and innovation challenge, and as well there will be, of course, English proficiency test if needed. So, but remember, for some programs, there is as well an additional written exam. So it will be really necessary to pass this as well. So now you know everything, okay? And just let's not wait for too long here. And the very first master program to get familiar with is Advanced Computational Science. And I would like to introduce you to Professor Vladimir Palilin, who is a program coordinator, and he will explain us what exactly advanced computational science is and what students will study during the program and what skills they will graduate with. Hello, Vladimir. Very happy to have you with us here today.
Hi, hello.
So, and please tell us about this program in more detail.
Thank you. Thank you for the very kind introduction. So let's start with the motto of the program. As you can judge by the name, we are concerned with efficient computations. And basically, the motto of our program is compute efficiently. In order to achieve that, we aim to teach students three main directions. First, how does one shape real-life problems into mathematical models? The second one, okay, we have a mathematical model, how to solve it efficiently. And the third one, apart from efficient numerical algorithms, one has to remember that we live in the age of clusters, big computing, so high-performance computing is our third pillar, which you will learn how to use if you are admitted to the program. Basically, despite being a relatively small program, we have three different tracks, sub-directions, let's call it this way. The first one deals with high-performance computing and parallel computations. The second one is about data-intensive mathematical modeling and simulations. And the third one, which is brand new, we're starting it this year, and it's about applying recent achievements in artificial intelligence and mathematical modeling towards finance and economics. This third one is done in collaboration with New Economic School, which is the best economic school in Russia. On the way to your master diploma, to your certificate, apart from attending multiple courses and learning lots of interesting and practically important things, you will have to do a lot of effort, you have to invest a lot of effort into writing MSc thesis. And the thesis topics could be industrial, they could be academic. On this slide, we show the academic successes of our thesis. So for instance, in the first case, Igor with colleagues, they managed to explain how, with a simple reinforcement learning, how the animals swirl, and it was published in a high-ranking journal called Scientific Reports. The second publication about Compton scattering came out from the student master thesis and resulted in the publication in Physical Review Letters, which is one of the best physical journals, one of the most important ones. There are other publications as well, so your chances are very high if you're admitted to the program, if you come to us, that results of master thesis will matter academically and scientifically. Apart from the academic and scientific side, the important part of the education is industry immersion. The students enrolled in our program usually spend these 8 weeks between the first and the second year of their studies in various IT and high-tech sector companies like Sber or Gazprom Neft, Fidesys, Kamaz. There are multiple options. For instance, this year, there are a few exciting projects at Sber with reducing execution time for robots or advancing the physical models for their motion. If we look at the distribution of the gradients of the program between the academia and industry, you see that more people go to the industrial sector, especially in the past couple of years. However, you also have great opportunity to later enjoy the PhD programs at Skoltech and leading world universities such as Stanford or University College Dublin. If you prefer to choose the industrial path, then industry provides lots of opportunities with the companies in Russia and abroad, including Huawei, Bayer, Tinkoff. Yeah, you can see the others on the slide. It all wouldn't have been possible without an access to an excellent research facilities. In our case, it's one of the best clusters and supercomputers in Russia called Zhores. If you come to us, you will be able to compute on that, to play with it. It's a great opportunity, and I definitely recommend using this. But before you start working with us and studying here, you have to go through the admission process. Basically, for our program, we target students with applied mathematics and natural science background. And the idea is that first, it's the target audience, which is the most interested in efficient computation, and also it's a target audience which feeds our program in terms of their skills and preliminary knowledge of calculus, differential equations, foundations of probability theory, which are all needed in order to attend more advanced courses which we provide. On the way to becoming a student, you have to go through the selection process, which includes two main stages. The first one is online math test, which pre-selects people for the interview. If you were selected for the interview, then you come for the selection weekend, or you attended online. And selection weekend includes interview with the faculty, a very important part. Other important parts include English test and soft skills challenge. And for our program, as well as for some other programs, you also have to write the math paper, math written exam quite well. So please be prepared. More details you can find here. If you go through this link, I will show you it later again. Thank you very much for your attention. So that's the link where you can learn more details about the program, about the professors and curriculum.
Thank you very much, Vladimir. That was really, clear and understandable. Hope our viewers understood this as well. But still, we have several questions. So, like the first one, the very first question which we got regarding your program, any piece of advice to prepare for the written paper exam?
So the best advice is to check the sample exam, which you can find on the webpage. And basically, the exam covers the topics which I mentioned in the list, like basics of probability, calculus, differential equations. So just rehearse these things.
Thank you. So guys, don't forget about that. And the other question, very interesting one, I hope you will be able to answer it. So can you give advice about applying to advanced computational science after civil engineering? Is it possible?
Oh, absolutely. I didn't mention that, but also the people with engineering background can find an interest in our program and have the proper background to study with us. So you're all welcome.
Yeah, thank you. So guys, please proceed. And the last question, because we have a very limited time today for the questions, but still don't worry, we will answer your questions in the text, in the comments, and these interesting questions as well. Do you have any international professors at your department?
All professors which we have, they have lots of international experience, and yeah, we do international professors in our center. So the program is supported by a few centers. So we have professors from Spain, from Vietnam, from all over the world, but mostly we have Russian professors which studied in and worked in leading world universities.
Great. This was really nice to hear about your program, Vladimir. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
And we will continue. So, guys, now let's switch our focus to the other very fascinating research domain, to life sciences and its respected master program. And now let me welcome the director of this particular program, Vera Rybko. Hello, Vera. Very happy to have you with us today.
Hello, Natasha. I'm very happy to be here with you.
Okay, so the floor is yours.
Okay, so guys, thank you for joining us. Today my mission is to tell you a bit about our master master program in biotechnology. And to understand better what I will be talking about, you should understand that here in Skoltech we have 3 domains that do their research in life sciences. This is Center for Molecular and Cellular Biology, and the director of this center is Professor Mikhail Sergeyevich Gelfand, who is also the vice president of Skoltech in biomedicine. We've got Agro Center also, and its director is Professor Laurent Ginsbittel, and we've got Neuro Center, or Center for Neurobiology and Brain Rehabilitation, and its director is Professor Filip Haitovich. So all these 3 centers are hosting our master students program in life sciences or in biotechnology. But all these 3 centers consist of faculty, and here are our brilliant, outstanding faculty who will be potentially your scientific supervisors. And this is crucially important because under their guidance in their laboratories, you will be doing your research, your thesis research that you will defend in the end of the 2nd year. So please pay attention to these people. Google what they are doing in science, or go to PubMed, and you will understand better what's going on in our master program. As you probably well know, enrollment to our master program has 3 waves, and you have a chance to apply to the 3rd one. Hopefully I will see you on admission on the selection weekend soon, in a month. So apart from usual things common for all other programs, we ask our applicants to go through 5 online tests, and you will be able to select one out of general bio, agro, and neuro, but we ask you to fill all the tests because no zeros are counted, but we will take into consideration only 3 best results. So you should try all, but do your best in 3 disciplines. And when you go through it, you will hopefully be invited to our selection weekend, where you will have interview with our faculty. And during this interview, you will discuss a scientific paper recently published by our faculty. So the person who will be asking and who will be talking to you on the scientific paper will be the author of this paper. So you will be offered to choose one of several papers, and you will be talking with the professor on it. He will be asking you questions, sometimes tricky, and after that some general discussions with the committee, me also there. So when you're enrolled, I hope you will be enrolled to our program, you will have an opportunity to choose one of the streams. These are not really streams, not strict streams, but you will be offered courses in bioinformatics, and this is not only just computational biology as you may imagine it, but this is proteomics, structural proteomics, or in silico drug discovery, or evolutionary and medical genomics. You will have we have a stream of wet biology, and this is not only about, I don't know, signaling cascades and proteins and mechanisms of translation, for example, but also about microbiota, about novel antibiotics, CRISPR-Cas, etc., etc. We've got neurostream, and this is also not only about, I don't know, molecules of the brain, but also about brain-computer interfaces and some feedback loops, etc., etc. And we've got agro, and this is about plant agrobiotechnology and about breeding. So as all master programs in Skoltech, we have 3 segments. The first year with the innovation workshop with core courses, and by the way, we've got only 3 obligatory courses in molecular biology, bioinformatics, and 1 lab course. All the others you can choose from our course catalog. And we've got independent study period and early research period during the first year, when you can try to do your best to choose your future scientific supervisor. But this is not your final decision, because in summer you could switch to another scientific supervisor if something goes wrong, but hopefully this wouldn't happen. Thus, you will have more time for your thesis research. In summer you will go through industry immersion, and I will tell you briefly a little bit later about our offerings of this process. And during the second year you will have to take your all the rest courses needed for completion of your obligatory educational program, and you will perform your thesis research, which is a solid scientific work, and defend your thesis in June. So our courses, we've got plenty of them, and this is not the full list of these courses. These are courses offered by our faculty. These are innovation courses offered by Skoltech. And these are other available courses offered by all the other educational programs, and you may choose one of them for your education. So research opportunities for our master students are various. We've got teaching laboratory, and by the way, in September we hope that our brand new teaching laboratory for wet biology research will be opened, and so on. So you will be probably the first who will enter it and do your wet research there. We offer computational resources. Certainly all our faculty have their own laboratories, and you can join their scientific groups, and also we distribute special grants for sequencing between our students if you need it. This is not the full list of our companies that our friends and offer our students an opportunity to participate in their internships in summer between the first and the second year. And these are startups, these are big pharma companies, these are medical laboratories, these are, I don't know, modeling startups, etc., etc. So you will be able to choose, and hopefully you will remember it for all your future life, and it will be good for your future career, because generally our graduates have 3 streams of career development. In academia, certainly you can enter PhD in Skoltech or outside. You could go to industry, and this could be a result of your industry immersion, or you could choose the innovative path, and you could join either a venture fund, and we've got stories like this. Our graduates are working in venture funds, or you could establish your own startup. And I've got a story, but probably I do have 1 minute for this story, because, for example, our graduate Arseniy Pozdashev, who is currently a PhD student, by the way, in Skoltech, has founded a very successful startup that deals on the edge between oil and gas industry and metagenomics, and this is a very nice example of how you could potentially imagine your future career. So thank you for your attention. Hopefully I was in time.
Thank you, Vera. It really sounded impressive. So, and of course, our viewers, they think that as well, and they have several questions. The very first question we would like to ask you, could you please elaborate about the interview process during the application period and the admissions interview?
So, as I've already mentioned, interview is with our faculty. So, only scientific papers from the faculty that will be present on the selection weekend are offered to successful applicants. So you can choose one of, I don't know, 10 papers. And you have to dig not only to the, I don't know, experimental design and the results of the scientific paper, but we wish that our successful applicants would understand the whole field, or at least try to understand the whole field of the research, and will be able to talk with the faculty who will be asking you, with the professor who will be asking you questions, not only about the scientific paper, but also about the field of science in general.
Okay, thank you. So the next question is, can you please tell us about master thesis process?
Well, master thesis process is a long story of your scientific research. It would be a real scientific research that would probably result not only in master thesis defense and this solid paper, but also you will probably publish a scientific paper, and we've got a number of our graduates who have published their who were co-authors or in very, very solid scientific papers in Nature Publishing Group journals or in other stories. And so thesis research is more than 1 year of your gradual development as a scientist. So I strongly recommend to look very deeply into what our professors are doing, what is their science about, and start thinking of joining some of them, one of them, for your future career and research.
Well, this is, guys, this is a very precious piece of advice, so please follow it. And like the last question for today for this program is like very interesting one. Can I apply for a life sciences program if I have graduated from Far Eastern Federal University but with a major in chemical engineering?
Yes, certainly you can. Hopefully you will pass the test, but as I've mentioned, we count only 3 best results, so all chances are yours in chemistry, in molecular biology, in biochemistry or physics. But be prepared to answer biological questions during the interview. So I strongly recommend you to read the paper and probably some textbooks on general biology and molecular biology.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Vera, for being with us today.
It was a pleasure.
Yes, we really enjoyed that. And we will keep going.
Bye.
Okay, so guys, Skoltech students spend a lot of time on their classroom work, on their research work, but they do as well apply their knowledge and skills worldwide in some other activities. For example, like we have at Skoltech our Eurobot team, and this particular Skoltech Eurobot team has won recently the national competition, and it was for the 5th time in a row. Can you imagine that? And by the way, robotics, it's very nice track, and this is the track of the particular program, which is called Engineering Systems. And now I would like to welcome our next guest, Tatiana Podlatchikova. She is the director of the Center for Digital Engineering and as well a coordinator for master program, which is called Engineering Systems. Hello, Tatiana. We're very happy to have you with us today.
Hello, Natalia. Nice to be here.
Yes, and we are excited actually to hear about the program. Please, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you for the presentation. As you know, the way how we live has been strongly changing with transition from manual to mechanical work and later to electrification and automation. Right now, we are in the process of digital transformation, which has a strong and profound impact on our life, our society, our economy, production, science and education. Master Program Engineering Systems offers a modern education, experience, skills and confidence to become leaders and shape digital transformation of industry, real-time implementation of digital technologies and development of robotics, aerospace and deep science for the benefit of our society. Our program has 3 main tracks, which is product development and digital engineering, robotics, and space track. You can easily move through tracks, do multidisciplinary projects across tracks and also other Skoltech master programs and external collaboration. And this gives you a great freedom on learning opportunities. Please use this QR code to know more information about it. So, our program has only 3 core courses, which is Systems Engineering, Engineering Design, Factory, and Experimental Data Processing. All other courses are up to your personal choice and your interest. For instance, if you want to develop a product for complex systems, starting from an idea to implementation, or develop a digital twin for product development, or develop new materials using digital engineering methods, please take courses from product development and digital engineering track. Robotics tracks will teach you how to develop automotive technology for high-tech sector, including precision agriculture, medicine, road construction, transportation, aerospace, and other domains. You will learn how to develop robotic platforms and control algorithms for robots. And if space is your dream, please welcome, you can join Space Track courses, which is focusing on deep science and development of advanced space systems, spacecraft and mission design, space weather, remote sensing, satellite navigation for the success of aerospace engineering and space exploration. You can use this QR code to know more information about the curriculum of 2023. During studies, you have a great chance to join world-level research in the laboratories of Center for Digital Engineering. For instance, you can join Systems Thinking Group or Laboratory of Cyber-Physical Systems to conduct research in digital engineering and product development. If you have a profound interest in physics, phenomena, energy conversion, and thermodynamics, please join Energy Conversion Physics and Technology Group. If you want to develop new materials, you are very welcome at Hierarchically Structured Materials Laboratory. Intelligent Space Robotics Laboratory will suggest you projects in mobile robotics, virtual reality, drones, tactile technologies, aerospace, and other projects. You can be a participant of international competition Year Robot and become a winner. Intelligent Sensing Group will suggest you projects in intelligent sensor systems with machine learning, deep learning, and applications in biomedicine and also cybersport and other activities. AI in Dynamic Action Group is focusing on development of advanced control methods and also reinforcement learning for robots. If you want to join space exploration and study solar physics and eruptive solar events, for instance, solar flares, coronal mass ejections, geomagnetic storms, and polar auroras, which has a strong impact on our astronauts in space and also technology in space and on Earth, if you're interested to develop advanced data processing methods for space weather prediction and mitigation, you are very welcome at Space Weather Laboratory. And if you want to design a CubeSat and launch a space mission, please join Advanced Microsatellite Laboratory. With this QR code, you can check more information on our research activities. And also, you have a great chance to publish your results in a top international journal and also to go to academic mobility trip to our partner university on a competitive basis. We also suggest our students industry immersion during summer period to get a hands-on experience in the industrial sector. This is a list of our companies for the current year and partially for the previous year. And with this QR code, you can know more information about industry immersion opportunities. During your education, you will get experience, skills, and knowledge that will help you to build up your future career. This education gives a ground to be able in future to find creative and sustainable solutions to greatest challenges in wide range of industries, including aerospace, transportation sector, robotics, and many other domains. Or you can found up your startup, which can arise from your innovative idea, or there is also a possibility to continue your studies if you decide to go for a PhD degree. These are some of the companies where our graduates are employed, and this is also some universities where our students continue their academic career. And these are just some examples of startups that were founded by our students. And of course, we are very proud of our students. These are just some examples. For instance, Ripstin Mativasyan and Ignacy Lucci founded a company on satellite imagery, and now they are already in the Forbes list. And Ivan Kalinov, our graduate, is the head of the robotic department at the Yandex Market Robotics Center. And I'm sure one day we will be also proud of you. So we welcome you to apply. we want our graduate to be curious for engineering, science, and technology, to be self-motivated and proactive. We want you to know, to have some experience in programming languages, to have a degree in engineering, mathematics, physics, or relevant domain, and also we want you to speak English. So we also invite you to join our channel for Skoltech Center for Digital Engineering, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Tatiana. That was really nice to hear about all these opportunities. And it's like amazing how much Skoltech students can get from your program. So, and we actually have a lot of questions. So, like the very first one, it's very interesting. If I want to work with Tatiana in a research group, what should I do?
You can contact me and we can discuss and find a good research for you.
Great, thank you for this answer. And is it necessary to get the understanding of the track at the very beginning, or can I change it later?
We have two options. If you really know from the beginning that you want, in particular, this track, you can directly plan your courses around this track. But there is also some time to decide what you can do. You can try early research project and understand what is of your interest and what you like more, and follow your interest.
Okay, and very good question, like what should I do just to get ready for the admissions better?
We would recommend first to make a sample test. This is very important to train, and if there are some gaps, please do more the assignments from the sample test. And second, when you participate in the interview, we would recommend not to only to explain the processes. For instance, I was doing internship in some company. This is a process, but it's also an achievement. I was doing internship, or I did this or that project, and I could develop a method that allowed to predict something 5% better than state-of-art method. By presenting your achievements, you have more chances to be accepted.
Okay, thank you very much for these precious pieces of advice. Guys, we really recommend you to follow them. Thank you, Tatiana, for being with us today.
Thank you, Natalia.
And we keep going. Guys, remember in our last episode, like last time, we showed you our top-notch facilities at Skoltech and the students of the following program, which is Advanced Manufacturing Technologies. All that students, they know about these laboratories a lot. They know about, like, they are very like regulars there, and they know ins and outs. And now we will have our next guest, who is Oleg Vasilyev, professor at this particular program, Advanced Manufacturing Technologies, and he will tell us more about the program. Professor Vasilyev, we're very happy to have you with us here today. So please tell us in more detail about the program.
Thank you for the opportunity to talk about this program. As I mentioned to you, I already mentioned, we are going to talk about advanced manufacturing technologies. This is a program at Skoltech. This program is more or less designed and managed by the Center of Materials Technologies, where I'm a faculty of. And because it is more or less designed around that center. And for all the students, one of the main directions, one of the main part of their master's degree education is to do experience doing research. And for that reason, I'm going to talk about Center for Materials Technology, first before talking about the program, to introduce the main direction of the research, the laboratories of the center which we have. And then we will switch to the program itself, with understanding what kind of research opportunities students can pursue at our center. The Center for Material Technologies was established about 8 years ago with the main objective to conduct basic and applied research aimed at development and implementation of new simulation-based engineering and manufacturing paradigms for basically all advanced material technologies, to with objective to improve their properties and enhance life cycle and improve mechanical properties of the, as well as manufacturing technologies in general. The center consists of six laboratories. One of them is joined with Oerlikon. The first laboratory is a laboratory of composite materials and structures. Second is a laboratory of advanced additive manufacturing. The third laboratory is a laboratory of thermal spray and functional coating. The fourth laboratory is a laboratory of mechanical testing. And the last laboratory is a laboratory of computational engineering, who I'm head of. So I will talk about each particular laboratory when we discuss each particular laboratory in the next few slides. So the Center of Material Technologies has two main kind of themes of research directions. One is materials technologies, which is mostly focusing on three main processes which I already described: composite materials, additive manufacturing, and thermal spray and functional coating. And the second direction is simulation-based engineering sciences, which more or less focusing on modeling and simulations of physical systems, engineering as well as engineering systems and manufacturing processes, with the objective to understand phenomena, physical mechanisms, and how to improve or design new materials or new technologies. So the laboratory of composite materials, here schematics mainly of some equipment which is set up in the laboratory, is mainly focusing on studying both theoretically, computationally, and experimentally everything which has to do with composite materials. It structures, how to produce them, manufacture them, how to improve properties, as well as how the properties changes when the material is used. And it also has three experimental facilities related to the three different directions of composite basically manufacturing technologies: pultrusion, pressing, and vacuum infusion technologies. The second laboratory is a laboratory of additive manufacturing, which is commonly known as 3D printing. It focuses on developing additive manufacturing technologies in three main directions: ceramics, metals, and plastics. Here you see the list of basic equipment that we use for to do research, to conduct research in. We have two big metal printers, ceramic printers, plastic different printers, and now also we're experimenting in some 3D printing with bioengineering applications, bioprinters, which we call them. The next direction is laboratory of thermal spray and functional coating. Its basic objective is to develop advanced thermal spraying process technologies to improve the properties of materials used for different applications. And there are five different directions of this thermal spray coating. It's flame spraying, cold spraying, plasma spraying, high velocity oxygen fuel coating, and Y-arc spraying. All these technologies are studied both experimentally and theoretically and computationally. The next laboratory is laboratory of mechanical testing. The objective of this laboratory is to test mechanical properties of different materials, including both composites, polymer composites, and additively manufactured materials. Study the mechanical properties, fatigue properties, basically all spectra of properties with the objective to understand them, to characterize them, develop the particular models, as well as certify some new materials according to different standards, including international standards and both Russian standards, like GOST standards. The next laboratory is a laboratory of computational engineering, as I mentioned, which I'm head of. And this main objective of this laboratory is to develop and use computational modeling to simulate different processes, both physical processes as well as engineering systems and manufacturing processes. And the research directions are listed below. You can see them on the bottom of the page. Here just listed a few of them. One is, of course, development of multi-scale multiphysics modeling and simulation capabilities to model different engineering and physical systems, as well as the technological processes, development of the environments to do the simulations, develop the different numerical methods, as well as to do simulations using, high-performance simulations using modern computers, and to as well as to apply to different fields, and including computational fluid dynamics, computational mechanics, and thermodynamics, and basically practically every aspect of all the different mechanisms, different physics, different technologies that we study at our center. Now, since I described all the labs, so you can get an idea what directions of research we pursue in our center. And now it will be clear why we develop our educational programs, advanced manufacturing technologies, and why we have it split it into main tracks. One track is material technologies track, which is focusing on three main technologies: composite materials technologies, thermal spray coating, and additive technologies. And the second track is simulation-based engineering sciences track, which mainly focusing on modeling and simulations of all the different processes and mechanisms involved with these technologies, which I mentioned earlier. The educational program more or less consists of multiple courses that students can take that are roughly can be broken into three main subject clusters. One is materials technology clusters, which is focusing on, as I mentioned, technologies, advanced manufacturing technologies. The second cluster is fundamental cluster, which focuses on fundamental continuum mechanics, fluid mechanics, solid mechanics, all the fundamental science at important directions, basically fundamental areas required to do this research in these directions. And the third subject is computational engineering cluster, which is focusing mostly on simulation-based engineering technologies, numerical methods, computational classes. So the students who take the first material technologies track, they take the first two clusters, and students focusing on simulation-based engineering sciences track, the second take the mostly second two clusters. But of course, they can take across as well as the classes from any programs at Skoltech. Here's an example of the educational programs. I will not go into detail. I just simply mention of the classes which take. The first semesters when students come, first term, the students, in addition to the innovation workshop class, they also take orientation class, which is advanced manufacturing technologies, basically introduction to advanced manufacturing technologies, where students get introduced to all different areas of research, as well as professors, researchers at our center. So with objective, they can identify directions they're interested in, and later, within October and November timeframe, choose their advisor. Also, important aspect I want to mention that during the summer, between the first and second years, the students involved in internship program, where students usually either find the program, basically the companies they work themselves if they have the connections or interest, or we simply help them and place them into the companies with the corresponding experience. They spend usually 2 months working in these companies and have a very good industrial experience in addition to their education objective that they achieve through our program. With that, I want to conclude my presentations, and I want to encourage you to apply to our program in Advanced Manufacturing Technologies, and I'm looking forward to see you in the fall. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, and we actually have several questions. Can I visit Skoltech to check your lab facilities before I apply?
Yes, we have multiple tours. So of course it can be done centrally through Skoltech, but also you can go to our website of our center or our programs and click on the connection. And we have a coordinator who can help coordinate the basic tour of all our facilities, our different labs, as well as, if you have particular interest talking with some faculty, you can arrange individual meetings with the faculty. So that can be done through our program coordinator, whose name is Anna Matushenko.
Great. And by the way, guys, in case you want to visit Skoltech, you can as well drop a message at admissions@skoltech.io, and we will connect you with the program and we'll show you around. And the next question, can we work on our own project, or it's mandatory to join projects, or you are working at the moment?
It is usually individual projects, but rarely I found students who can come and have the knowledge to set up their own project. Often the projects are designed, or kind of identified by the faculty supervisor. But usually the interest of students taken into account, and they usually work together as a team, design with the project. Or if students have no idea, simply interested in the general topic, simply join the team and then work as a team together. But if you have your own idea which is worth pursuing, you simply talk with the faculty, and the faculty will be happy to help you, doing this research in this particular direction. Of course, you have to basically sell your idea to the faculty, so the faculty get interested to help you with development. But we have various expertise, and I'm almost sure if your area within the scope of our program, you'll be able to find advisor who can help you to pursue your dream or your idea.
Great. Thank you very much for your answers, and we will continue. So, guys, in order to continue the topic of our high standard research facilities, we cannot help mentioning 5G lab. Exactly, 5G lab, which is actually at Skoltech. And students of the next program, which we would like to introduce to you, which is called Internet of Things and Wireless Technologies. So these students of this particular program really spend a lot of time in this 5G lab. So, and now I would like to welcome our next guest, who is the director of the respective center and the director of the master program, which is called Internet of Things and Wireless Technologies. Hello, Professor Lakontsov. Very happy to see you here. So, actually, taking into account your level of expertise, we're actually excited to hear about this program.
Thank you very much.
So the floor is yours.
So, thank you very much. Hello, guys. My name is Dmitry Lakontsov, and I'm head of the Wireless Center in Skoltech. I'm a professor of the practice and the director of the master program of Next Generation Wireless and IoT. Well, this fancy picture is give you some understanding of what we are actually doing. First, people usually think that we do some terrestrial wireless or something like mobile networks, like 4G, 5G or something like this. But also, right now we're involved in the space projects. So right now we start to develop in Russian NTN, non-terrestrial networks for mobile networks, and this means that we will be involved in the space technology and in the satellites that will support non-terrestrial networks for 5G. That's why its theme is like this, dedicated to the Star Wars. And actually, studying in our program, you will be able to work in the Tier 1 companies and mobile networks and wireless technologies like the operators like MTS, Rostelecom, and the vendor companies who develop and produce and supply all our operators with high-level equipment like Huawei, Nokia, Ericsson, and so on. And basically, we still work with the Huawei company, and actually we prepare the people who actually absolutely on the top level and could work and can work in these companies. And actually a lot of our alumni are involved in research and development in such companies. So this is our main project, and actually we are really proud of this. And this is the base station, first Russian 5G base station, and it's really functional. And full stack of full program stack and some part of the hardware platform was developed in Skoltech by our center, by our students, by our team. And right now, this 5G base station involved in the tests and the real work in the real network wireless operators. This is really important to say that actually we do the technology by ourselves. We involve our students and our PhD students in this work. So we have absolutely great, the best in Russia, and one of the best in the world team of the researchers, developers, and scientists. dedicated to the wireless technologies. And let's say that, for example, for the algorithms, for the coding and information theory, for the digital signal processing, we have a best team in Russia, and you could be the part of this team. You can work with us and take your experience in the real projects, in the real devices, in the real equipment for the real people. And this is exactly not only the paperwork, and you can do it by your own hands, and this is absolutely great. So some other projects when we work with our equipment, for example, we have our own 5G test zone, and we test the 5G communications for the drones, for the urban mobility, for the UAVs that fly across the city and connect to the wireless operators networks to operate and to be managed and so on. We do a lot of tests for the Moscow Metro, and actually the big circle line in Moscow Metro will be in the nearest future will be equipped by our equipment for providing the 5G connection. And we do a lot of applications for the private 5G networks on the factories, on the facilities of the producing premises and so on. Well, let's do this long journey ahead. So we do a lot of equipment, as I said. We produce full stack software development. We do the high-level research for the wireless, and actually we do a lot of Q1, A-star papers, and of course the biggest company, the Tier 1 company in our industry, help us in this and get our research for them. And well, you could be anyone in this wide area. You could be the researcher for the algorithms, for the pure science, for the AI applied in telecom, for example, or you can be the researcher that just provide the applied research and apply some algorithms exactly in the existing equipment, or you can be a developer, the guy who produces high-level engineering tasks and producing the design of the new equipment and new software for the real life. Well, welcome to Skoltech, welcome to our program. Prepare to engage in our great team and to be a specialist of absolutely high level and work all over the world, not only in Russia, for this industry, and be very, respectful and, of course, very useful. Thank you very much. Okay, so actually we have some research infrastructure to use it in our work. So this is the 5G base station equipment and the laboratory in which we produce a lot of measurements and produce a lot of laboratory works and so on. And thank you very much. Mm-hmm.
Dmitry, thank you very much. That's actually what a hot industry to be in right now. Mm-hmm. And of course, we have several questions from our viewers. The first one, can international students work in your laboratory? But I guess,
of course.
Yes, it's obvious question, answer. Is it possible to be hired, probably as an employee, at one of the laboratories during master programs, at your master program?
Well, it's possible, yes, but actually it's not like you will be hired like the researcher developers, but yes, it's possible to be partly hired and work for our projects as a developer.
Mm-hmm. And the next question is how to better get prepared for the written exam at your program? What to study, probably some...
Well, it's absolutely classical. So what we need mathematics, and this is typical calculus, linear algebra, and some basics of the probability theory. So I believe at least some previous years exams, so you
sample
can just...
tests, yes.
To be familiar with them. Mm-hmm.
Yes, guys, just to remind you that in order to get prepared, we really encourage you to go through all the sample tests which are available at our landing page. By the way, you can just see this QR code and you can just dive in there and you will be able to find it there. So, and we will thank you,
very much,
Dmitry, for coming here and to be with us, and we will keep going. Guys, did you know that all key research areas at Skoltech, they are actually all of them are reflected in our master programs. So the next, like, very important domain, research domain here at Skoltech, and which is reflected by the next master program, which is energy systems. And now I would like to welcome the next guest, which is the director of master program, which is called Energy Systems, just to remind you. And we would like to welcome Professor Елена Грязина, and she will tell us a lot about this particular program. Well, Yelena, welcome to our online
Hello
studio.
again.
Hi again. So, and please tell us about this powerful program, which is Energy Systems.
Okay, so I'm Елена Грязина, and in coming 8 minutes, I'm gonna describe you what we are doing in Energy Systems Master Program and why me in particular so passionate about energy systems. So what comes to your mind when you hear energy systems? Probably this is very old-fashioned power infrastructure containing power plants, transmission line, distribution lines, transformers, passive and highly predictable load. Old-fashioned, very technical, boring. But it was the case maybe 20 years ago. Right now, power system is completely different. So here, talking about energy systems, it's not only about power, not only about electricity, but about also combined infrastructures, including heating systems, gas transportation systems. So there are many distributed generators, including mini CHP heat and power units. So on the customer side, there are also dramatic changes. So people install energy storages, they buy electric vehicles, and the consumption patterns of our users becomes less predictable and completely new. Actually, no one knows in particular how much this consumption pattern change and how they will change in the future. Then, of course, there is this trend towards decarbonization. We have a huge number of wind farms, solar PV panels, which are connected to the grid through specific devices called power electronic devices. It's far from trivial to develop this type of things. And of course, the control strategies, the control rules beyond all this variety of technologies becomes much more complicated and diverse. And if you have a look at the power system, you can notice that we are talking not about energy flow anymore, but also there is like significant portion of information flow which connects this system. And power system contains a huge amount of metering infrastructure and data transmission infrastructure. So we have smart buildings, smart commercial and industrial buildings. We have smart meters that allow users to investigate their consumption patterns, that also allow some remote control and able to switch on and off devices related to pricing signals. And there is, on top of it, there is energy management system, which really allows to operate this system much more efficiently. So the challenge of current change of paradigm requires new tools and technologies. And it's clear now that there's not only a problem for engineers anymore. So joint efforts of different specialists like mathematicians, physicists, economists, social scientists is required to really model properly and to develop tools for secure and optimal operation of this grid. And that's what we are doing in our energy systems. We develop new tools for power industry, for energy industry, based on advanced mathematical methods, including artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, and many others. So you may ask, who are our graduates? Who are people who go through this educational program? So different possibilities, different ways are open for them. So these are power engineers, well, quite standard. But there are also people who are so keen on research, who get so fascinated about even research perspective that they join Skoltech for PhD program or join other international universities like Technical University of Denmark and the University of Singapore and many others. Some our alumni really become technological entrepreneurs and startup founders. Maybe not founders, but employees or co-founders of different startups. We have PhD students who are pursuing their startup just during the time of their studies. And last but not least, wide competences that people gain in our program becomes them very attractive for consultancy companies, and some of them pursue this career. So we do not only modeling, not only programming, but we have a very diverse lab. And let me note microgrid lab, which allows us to test different devices in real microgrid, standalone, small-scale power system, or in grid-connected mode when a microgrid is connected to the main grid. We research instabilities and develop techniques how to reduce these types of instability, because it's a very crucial point for microgrids. And we test different energy management strategies for peak shaving, for different tools for improve the power quality in the grid. Speaking about device level, we have power electronic lab equipped with a number of different facilities that allow our students to develop their own inverters, converters, even multi-port converters that are something between your PV, battery, or any other devices and the main grid. So whenever you see kind of these fancy devices, be sure that they're connected to the grid with the help of power electronic devices. And being able to develop this type of devices is very crucial to really understand how power system lives today. Last but not least, we have RTDS lab. So RTDS, real-time digital simulator, is a very powerful equipment and very expensive, which allows to make so-called hardware-in-the-loop tests in real time. So if you have your program where you model power system, it doesn't matter how much time it takes to model one real second of power behavior of power system. It may take an hour, it may take 24 hours, depending on the detailization of your model. But imagine you would like to test PV panel or battery storage, how it operates within the grid. You cannot ask your storage to wait, my simulation are running. You need the simulation performed in real time, in the same time where storage lives, in our normal time. And that's why RTDS becomes very useful, and we are very proud to have such an equipment and being able to make such tests. So we also pay significant attention for energy transition, for ESG topics, and we have a special educational track on energy transition and ESG. And you may ask yourself if you are eligible, if you can join us. Well, naturally, we have had two basins of students with more mathematical and physical background and more educational background. Both are very welcome. We take both. And I would like to mention just that both bases have their own special challenges, and they need to be ready to change, to broaden their vision, to polish their math, to really pursue some specific skills. And if you are ready to do it, you are welcome to join. You are welcome to communicate with our industrial collaborators during summer immersion, and welcome to Energy Systems. Yeah, this is QR code required.
Yes.
So that's it.
Yes, by the way, guys, this is QR code. It's the landing page of the program, this particular that one which Elena was describing. So thank you very much for this great introduction. And actually, we have several questions from our viewers. Can I apply with a major in civil engineering?
Well, we had a few candidates They were not successful in the interview, but I suggest you try. So what is required for you if you're a civil engineer? Well, you need to be really very open to new kind of knowledge, to more mathematics, to more electricity, many electrons, and so on and so forth. If you are ready for this challenge, if you would like to really switch your topic, you're welcome.
Okay, thank you. So we really encourage you to do that, by the way. And the other thing, what is the biggest project your research group is working on?
Well, currently we have a few projects. I would like to mention one about incorporating renewables into the grid. It's a research project which aims to assure how much what is the ratio, what is the portion of renewable energy sources that we actually can afford for Russia. Because there are different debates, but 10%, 50%, more than 50%, there are very significant instabilities and so on and so forth. And the projects like a grid based on 100% of renewables seems like a very futuristic. However, what is the actual percentage that Russia can afford technically right now? That's the scope of the project.
Impressive. Yeah, thank you. So the last question for this program is, what kind of questions do you usually ask during the interview sessions? How to get prepared better?
We ask to describe your own research project, your bachelor thesis, or some other projects you were involved, and to emphasize your contribution. And then we ask technical questions in the field you present. So we would like to put you to very comfortable conditions, but then we go deeper to understand your real understanding of the subject.
Great. So guys, this was Program Director Elena Grazina, and we would like to thank you very much for being with us here.
Thank you for having me.
Great. And we will continue. One of the things which makes Skoltech really special is diverse research infrastructure. And one more research area and its program which highlights the fascinating world of science is photonics and quantum materials. And now I'm very pleased to welcome our next guest, who is program coordinator of this particular program, Maëlle Brassard. Hey Maëlle, welcome to our online studio.
Hi.
So, actually they say that your program is really cool. Is that so?
Really?
Yes. Is that so? Can you please tell us why exactly?
I think so, yeah.
The floor is yours.
Thank you. So, hi everyone. So I'm very happy to digitally meet everyone today. So I hope a lot of you are interested in our program, which is photonics. So specifically photonics and quantum materials. So we are, I would say, one of the most fundamental programs in Skoltech. So we love physics, we love weird technology, and we do a lot of things that maybe are not useful right now, but will be critical in the next 10, 20 years. So maybe you don't know very much about what is photonics and why you should get into photonics right now. So I'm here to say that photonics is a very exciting and rapidly growing field of research. So there is a lot going on really right now. So a lot of new fields are appearing every year. A lot of new strange materials with new properties are appearing all the time. And the applications are just growing and growing. Of course, it's clear to everyone that photonic devices are already everywhere. So from the smartphone in your pocket to the optical fibers that connect the world through the internet. And of course, a million other applications for lasers, light sources, detectors. So it can really be said that photonics is one of the, maybe the foundational field for the new technological revolution. So, for example, when you talk about Industry 4.0, so trying to really automate everything, trying to find ways to produce very complex systems in a fast and easy way. And all this is really driven by sensors, which are, I would say, 90% photonics based. So really, without photonics, there wouldn't be a lot of the technology we use today and that we're going to use tomorrow for sure. And some people estimated that essentially only 10% of the potential of photonics is really unlocked right now. So there is really a huge amount to explore and a lot of cool stuff to do. And probably important for whoever wants to join the program now is that there is a really big demand right now for trained photonics engineers and scientists. And this is in a lot of different companies, which can be manufacturing companies, of course, but also a lot of very, very different fields. So I will discuss it a bit later. And of course, in academia too, there's a lot of opportunities out there. So it's really, really, in my opinion, a great time to get into photonics. At Skoltech, photonics is one of the kind of primary direction of research, and we really have excellent labs and facilities available to us. So I think one of our maybe main achievement, I would say, and what we're really proud of is the fact that Skoltech became 35th in the world on the Young Universities Nature Index rankings in physical science. So maybe you don't know about this, but this is essentially a list of all the new universities, so young universities of less than 20 years or 50 years. And it's really impressive, in my opinion, that we could reach 35th place in the world in the 10 years since we started Skoltech, and even less, and we started actually photonics activities at Skoltech. So it really shows that in a short time we managed to build something quite special here in photonics. Our people here, so faculty, are experts, obviously. They are, some of them, really world leaders, so not just kind of leaders in Russia. They typically have H-index, which are pretty high. We have faculty which comes from different places, so we still have foreign faculty from Europe, from Asia, from all around the world, so we're very connected to the world in the center. You can see maybe, I think what is important is kind of publications, because really, again, we are more fundamental center, and this is a more fundamental program. You can see that the number of publications in photonics in Skoltech is growing every year. So now we are reaching, I think, more than 150 publications in Q1 journals. So these are the best journals in the world per year. And we publish some of the best articles in Russia in the field. So this includes, for example, publications in Nature, Nature Photonics, of course, and such kind of journals, which are the best and the leading journals in the world. The Photonics and Quantum Materials Master's Program is really kind of focused around, I would say, modern optics, modern photonics, so including quantum technologies which are related to photonics. With, of course, a solid dose of solid-state physics, which is really needed these days for anything related to lasers. And of course, you can't essentially create or detect light without semiconductors, so it's really the core of our business. We focus very much, I think, like most programs at Skoltech, around the projects that students have to carry on. So these are really, I think, exciting projects. So I think it's kind of a big difference between Skoltech and many places in the world. So when you arrive at Skoltech, you first will need to find a professor to guide you, and he will give you a project in discussion with him. And this project will not be some kind of toy project just to keep you busy and, you know, just make you learn something. It will be really at the edge of science, and we have a lot of MSc students who publish really good papers. So if it tells anything to anybody out there, for example, first name publications in Physical Review B is quite a common thing for us. So if you come out of the program with solid publications behind your name, solid training in science, technology, you really, I mean, essentially all the doors are open to you afterwards. So we offer, well, I guess it was discussed already, but there's a lot of opportunities linked to innovation and startups, industrial immersion. So we are very connected still to applied physics, applied photonics. And we really love to find a way to kind of discover some new phenomenons or weird physics using some new materials, for example, and find a way to create new applications, to push it towards a startup, to push it towards some exciting industrial partner, like IBM, for example. And we have 2 tracks to choose from. So this is kind of a new thing for us. You will be able to decide if you want to go more towards, I would say, pure photonics, just really light technologies, or more towards the quantum side of the business, so quantum technologies. We have kind of a mix and match philosophy, I would say, in the curriculum. We try to be open to all kinds of students and all kinds of perspective for students. So if you are more kind of academically oriented and you want to continue in academia and do really fundamental research, we of course have a lot of courses for you that you can see on the screen. So I think typically the students go into these more fundamental projects, and they're expected to publish, so a couple of papers during their studies. And after the studies, they would continue, of course, towards a PhD or sometimes a startup. We also have a more industry-oriented track with IPG Photonics. So IPG Photonics is a global leader in fiber lasers and high-power systems. So it's a really cool company. They do really kind of state-of-the-art systems. And with them, there's opportunities in our program to learn more about optical engineering, so to go more towards the applied side of photonics. And in this case, you would do a project so related to high-power lasers, for example, or some kind of fiber technology. Or now, actually, integrated optics is coming more and more, of course. In this case, you would learn less about publishing and more, for example, about writing a patent. So we have many students who come out with a patent in their name, so after their studies. And you will get a really good background to continue towards industry. We have a lot of kind of leading laboratories in different fields of well, photonics and quantum technologies. So I will not list them all. I advise you that you just look online on our site. You will see all details about what exactly we're doing and see some fancy pictures of all the nice equipment we have. But I will say that essentially, no matter your background in physics, solid state physics, also in photonics, we can find you a place in a nice lab. Program requirements are pretty standard, I would say. You essentially need to have a strong physics background, understanding of quantum mechanics, and basic mathematics. You need a bachelor degree in mathematics or physics or kind of optically oriented engineering degree. And of course, you need to speak English. Skoltech being Skoltech, it is important. So I think that's maybe the most important slide for a lot of people is what do our people do after their studies? So I would say that the majority of our graduates go towards academia still, so go towards a PhD typically. And they do this in, well, the best places in the world, essentially. So we have places at MIT, we have places, well, in Russia at MIPT, MSU, but also in Cambridge in the UK, or in Paris, well, essentially, yes, the leading institutions in the world. We also send people to industry, so there is big demand right now in industry for people who are trained in this field. And we have people, of course, in photonics companies like IPG or A-Star in Singapore, or even ASML in the Netherlands. But also, actually, there's big demand in the kind of consulting companies for our people. So we really train people to be problem solvers, and you can easily go into kind of more banking, consulting direction if you want to afterwards. And of course, startups. So we have quite a few people every year who get into startups. So this is typically related to their projects, but it's not always. So there's a lot of people who just find the right people and just find a weird idea to talk about and just end up creating something which is not related to photonics. And that's also great. I mean, that's also the point of Skoltech, I think. And thank you. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Thank you, Mael, for all these explanations about the program. It was really impressive. And we have several questions.
Great.
So the very first question is, what scientific group is specialized in the quantum computations? Do you have it in your program or in your center?
We do not do directly quantum computing. We have work on optical computing, so in the hybrid photonics labs, which is sort of related to quantum computing. And we have worked on superconducting technology, which is also, of course, linked to quantum computing. But I would say we don't really have direct research into the field.
Okay, I see. So the next question is, like previous years, there was a joint program with MIPT. So is it active this year?
Yes, so that's a good news actually of this week, I think. So this is a very new thing. It is actually renewed. So if you're from MIPT, you can join. Everything is okay.
Yeah, great. So guys, you need to apply at MIPT and at Skoltech, and you can just choose this joint program. So we have this option in our student intelligence application. Just again, no worries, it's all active. The other question is, are there any job opportunities in Russia for international students after graduating from your program?
Of course, yes. So I think, well, with this caveat, of course, that in many cases you have to speak Russian, which you can learn Russian, though. I learned Russian in a couple of years, it's possible. But also, for example, we have a graduate who is Indian and now is working with IPT Photonics to start a business with them in India. So these kind of things are also very possible. So a lot of Russian companies are looking for kind of a way to, a window to the world, I would say. And our people are very often providing these opportunities.
Great. This is really, really encouraging. So, and like international applicants, you are very welcome to apply. So, thank you, Mael, for being with us today, and we will continue. And we keep moving along around our journey along our journey around Skoltech programs with the next stop at Material Science program. And I'm very happy to welcome our next guest, the program coordinator and professor of this particular program, Dmitry Aksionov, who will guide you and us around this particular program. So let's welcome him. Hello, Dmitry. Welcome to our online studio.
Hello, Natalia.
So, we are very excited to hear your story about your program.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. Let me introduce Material Science program, which is hosted by Center for Energy Science and Technology. Our program consists of 4 main parts, as pretty any program at Skoltech. This includes lectures and practical classes, research activity, industry immersion, and innovation activity. And you can start your research already at the first term, which we encourage you at our program. So regarding the lectures and practical classes, we have only 3 compulsory courses, which includes Introductory to Materials Chemistry and 2 courses on characterization of materials, which is, of course, very important for material science. And from other courses, we have 3 tracks which can be made out of recommended courses. The 2 tracks are experimental and the third one is computational. The first track will teach you about crystal chemistry of materials and focus on electrochemical, energy materials, and catalysis. The second track is about carbon materials, structural materials, and creation of devices out of these materials. And on computational track, you will learn how to use computational methods to design new materials and to predict their properties. So, each educational track is supported by strong research. At first, material science track, there are 4 groups working in this direction, led by 4 professors: Artem Abakumov, Evgeny Antipov, Stanislav Fedotov, and Victoria Nikitina. So in these research directions, you will learn how to synthesize materials for energy applications, how to do electrochemical investigation of these materials, and how to make, for example, metal-ion batteries. So as you can see, we have all good equipment for synthesis of materials, for their characterization, such as microscopes, like glove boxes to build and assemble batteries. And here you can see a large-scale prototype of lithium battery, which was developed here. So the second track, materials engineering track, is represented by 2 laboratories. The nanomaterial lab, led by Albert Nazibulin, as supported by 2 other professors, Dmitry Krasnikov and Fedor Fedorov. It is focused mostly on synthesis of nanomaterials, such as carbon nanotubes and graphene, and their application to create flexible electronics, solar cells, fiber lasers, electronic nodes, and other applications. And the lab for digital materials engineering, led by Professor Alexander Karsunsky. This is focused mostly on structural materials for aerospace applications, bio-inspired materials, and development of advanced characterization methods using digital methods. The third track is about computational, as I already said, and here we have 6 groups led by Professor Sergei Levchenko, Artem Aganov, Evgeny Antipov, Alexander Shapeyev, me, and Alexander Kvashnin. So here you can really apply computational method to study catalytic materials, to predict new materials, like theoretical material science, develop interatomic potentials, or using artificial intelligence, study computational, study battery materials, or industry-oriented projects. So we have all required infrastructure, such as high-performance computing, all the software that can make possible research in this direction. So what is good about a program, that you have integration into the job market already during your study. Yeah, there are a lot of education-related activities, such as 1-month innovation workshop, 2 months academic mobility. Then during research, you will participate in research grants, collaborate with other researchers all around the world. And during your summer, you will have an opportunity to have an industrial practice in leading companies. And of course, some local events such as conferences and seminars. So during academic mobility, our students visit such universities, best universities in Saudi Arabia, China, India, and of course, there are a lot of collaborations with the best universities in Russia, such as MIPT, Moscow State University, Novosibirsk, and so on. You can see them on the slide. Regarding our industrial partners, among them are Gazprom, Rosatom, Rusal, Huawei, LG Chem, and also we have our own startups, one of which, for example, was created by our student, and they are related to the creation of batteries. So our entry requirements are pretty much the same as for other programs. We recommend you to have like a bachelor degree in physics, chemistry, or material science, but we also can consider other background as well. So, and regarding the entry, so there are 2 stages, the online test and then on-site interview. Regarding the online test, we have like 3 groups of problems in mathematics, physics, and chemistry. They're quite simple, and you can check the examples on the website. So let's see our program at glance. So it's hosted by Center for Energy Science and Technology. We have 15 world-level faculty, supervisors, and lecturers. So 3 educational tracks, 2 experimental and 1 computational, and like you have access to almost 8 research labs with modern equipment. So what else? Please check public lectures given by our faculty, which are available on YouTube and scientific news outlets. Check all the information on our website. And if you're really interested to join some project and to join our program, don't hesitate to contact our professors and researchers. Thank you.
Thank you, Dmitry. That was very comprehensive to know about the program. And we do have several questions. The first one, pretty interesting. If I have graduated with biotechnology background and want to change the research area more to material science, can I apply in this case?
Yes, you can apply. We have one professor, Dmitry Gorin, who is also working with our program and who is interested in students working in this direction.
Yes, just so go ahead, we are waiting for you. So the next questions, speaking about the labs. So there are so many labs at your program, and are they located in one building?
Currently, they're located in 2 buildings, here at main campus, and also we have still some equipment in Nobel 3. So there is old location for our university, but very soon we will move them here, and I think all of them will be here.
But don't worry, this new location is very close to the main campus where we are now, so don't worry about that. So the next question is, can you elaborate please about the online test for material science? How is better to get prepared for it?
So I suggest you to check the examples of problems that are available on the website, and then just like make a rehearsal of basic physics, chemistry, solid state physics. Like this is like the bachelor level or even school level in some cases. So just check general textbooks on these subjects.
Yes, guys, and again, we just want to remind you that via this QR code, you can get an access to the materials science program landing page, and all the samples are available there. So go ahead and check them out. So, Dmitry, thank you very much for being with us. It's really helped, I'm pretty sure, and we are going to the next program.
Thank you. Bye.
So Skoltech keeps developing every day, and it's happening in all the spheres of Skoltech life. And just to prove that, for example, this year we have launched a new program which is called Applied Computational Mechanics. And now I would like to welcome its director, Professor Aslan Kasimov. Hello, Professor Kasimov. We're very happy to have you with us today. And actually, students of this program, they'll be the very first ones, right? So can you tell us why is it so special?
Well, the program is called Applied Computational Mechanics, and it's brand new. We opened it this year. And it's a special program. It's based on mechanics, which is the oldest and the most fundamental branch of physics. And despite its age, it remains new science. There are many interesting and open problems from the fundamental point of view, as well as from practical point of view. It's a great subject for study. It involves a lot of interest in physics, interest in mathematics, and the use of modern computational tools. And it's an exciting program, and I hope that many of you get interested in it and apply. So the basic essential idea of the program is to provide you with education in fundamental mechanics of fluids and solids and in subjects of applied and computational mathematics, which are needed in order to solve the very hardest and the most important problems in mechanics from a computational standpoint. So based on this idea, we've formulated the program so that it contains the fundamental subjects in mechanics, such as continuum mechanics, a number of classes in fluid mechanics and in solid mechanics, and appropriate courses in applied and computational mathematics. And very importantly, we have not only theoretical foundations in these subjects, but also courses which cover practical implementation of the algorithms to solve practically relevant problems in mechanics. And for that purpose, we have a number of courses in what I call computational engineering. You will learn the software development and high-performance computing, and especially in systems such as open source software. So looking at the catalog of courses, you can identify a number of courses many courses in fluid mechanics, in fact, covering compressible flow, incompressible flows, multi-phase flows, which are practically very important flows relevant to industry. And you will see a number of courses in applied mathematics, as well as computational science that as I mentioned. The program is based on in the Center for Energy Transition, which is headed by Professor Osiptsov, who is an expert in multi-phase fluid mechanics. He's a graduate of Moscow State University, Mechanics and Mathematics Department. In a related area, we have Professor Sergei Boronin, who is also a graduate of Mechanics Mathematics of Moscow State University. He's an expert generally in theoretical fluid mechanics and in particular in multi-phase flow simulations. We have Alexander Kvashnin, whose expertise is more into computational prediction of properties of condensed state condensed materials. And myself, I'm a graduate of Moscow Engineering Physics Institute, and also got my PhD in University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, and I specialize in fluid dynamics and applied mathematics. So in addition to this group from the Energy Transition Center, we have excellent faculty from two other centers, the Materials Technology Center and Advanced Computational Science, who have significant contribution to our program. And the faculty includes academician Robert Nigmatulin, is a well-known expert in multi-phase fluid mechanics. Professors Kolominsky and Vasilyev, with their expertise in computational fluid dynamics, Professor Sergeyev in solid mechanics, and Professors Brylyantov, Burnaev, Shapiev, and Rukovanov, with their expertise in high-performance computing and machine learning and numerical algorithms. So as for the job market, I should highlight here these companies, and especially Gazprom Neft, together with its Science and Technology Center and affiliated companies. And the program has received substantial support from these companies and are looking forward to working with us and with you on your internship, in particular summer internship, and possibly even on diploma projects. And they are also looking forward to working with you after you graduate, and they will be very excited to hire you to work in their research and development departments. As for the admissions, our requirements involve mostly mathematics. So the admission test consists of approximately 7 problems in mathematics and 3 problems in mechanics. So we expect you to have a solid background in mathematics, which is typically given in mechanics and mathematics departments or physics departments in good engineering schools or universities. And the mathematics test includes problems in analysis, calculus, linear algebra, ordinary and partial differential equations, complex variables, and some introductory numerical algorithms. As for the mechanics part, you are expected to have some background in fluid mechanics, introductory fluid mechanics, elasticity theory, and theoretical mechanics. So the bottom line is that if you enjoy physics, mechanics, mathematics, computation, and programming, this is a master's program for you. So I hope that you apply, in which case you will enjoy learning all of these beautiful subjects that I just listed, and you will enjoy, you will do what you enjoy, and will hopefully help you to enjoy what you do here too. Okay, thank you, and I'll be happy to answer any questions if there are.
Yes, so thank you again for this introduction of the program. Yes, we do really have the questions. And the first one, if I'm not good at programming, can I still apply?
Well, if you're good at everything else except programming and you want to learn programming, you will be able to do that here. And certainly you can, and give it a try.
Yeah, great. It's really inspiring. Okay. So what job opportunities do we have after graduating from this program?
Well, as I mentioned, all of these companies that were listed during the presentation, they expressed their strong support for this program, and they are really looking forward to hire you to work in their research departments. In addition to that, you will have the opportunity to continue as PhD students, or maybe you want to teach at the university or work as a researcher in Russian Academy of Sciences or other kinds of research laboratories. And I think the opportunities are plenty.
Okay, thank you. And about the interview, admissions interview, what do you usually ask at the interview?
Well, during the interview, we want to know whether you are excited about research, you are excited about problem solving in physics, mechanics, and computing and simulating various physical phenomena. That's what we would like to know.
Okay, I think it's really helpful. So, Professor Kasimov, thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you for this opportunity.
Yes, I'm pretty sure that it's really helped to our viewers. So, and we will continue. So, probably by now you have already noticed that at Skoltech there are a lot of unique opportunities, and students can have them as well. Just an example, for example, in the laboratory of our next program, which is Petroleum Engineering program, there is a real combustion tube. Can you imagine that? And it exists actually only at the University of Calgary and, as you guessed, at Skoltech. So, I'm very excited to welcome our next guest, the senior research scientist, and the program which is associated with this. Please welcome Aysulu Askarova. Hi, Salu. Welcome to our online studio.
Hi, Natasha.
So, am I right that you are a graduate of the master program, which is like Petroleum Engineering, and a PhD program as well, yes?
Indeed, I'm here in Skoltech almost from the very beginning, from 2014.
Wow, it's really impressive. And we're actually very excited to hear about the program, not only from the administrative point of view, but from the student perspective, right? Okay, so the floor is yours.
Thank you. Indeed, I have so many things to share with you. However, today I'm going to talk about the peculiarities of the program Petroleum Engineering. So we can offer you not only the state-accredited program with variety of courses covering major topics in petroleum science, but also the track in data science and petroleum industry, different academic mobility opportunities, conferences participation and publication in Q1 journals, and of course, great career opportunities. After successfully completing this program, you will be able to apply your knowledge in terms of petroleum engineering areas. You will be able to design, perform experiments, and analyze and interpret these experimental results, and of course, do this numerical simulation. You will be able to work in different type of teams across different topics and communicate effectively in these teams. Our course program is pretty similar to any other in Skoltech. We have a program with 120 credits, and some of them are compulsory, but also you will have the opportunity to develop your hard skills, communication skills, entrepreneurship and innovation skills, and do research, like pick your thesis topic and pick some additional courses of your choice. As I said, some courses are compulsory, for example, Introduction to Petroleum Engineering, but the other courses, you will be selecting them according to your interest. And as I said, there is great opportunities, list of courses that you can choose from the list on the right side. Unique lab. Indeed, as Natasha said, we have a combustion tube test, which is unique equipment. However, it is not the only one. Almost all the equipment in our lab is a one of a kind. In our lab, we can physically simulate conditions close to reservoir conditions. So high temperature, high pressure, or anything that you would like to come up with. For example, here is the geochemistry lab, geomechanics lab, enhanced oil recovery lab, and geochemistry. Our research is represented by various research groups, starting with Mikhail Spasennych, our director of the department. His research group is focusing on organic chemistry. Alexey Chestikov is working on reservoir characterization and geomodeling. Yuri Popov is working on thermal conductivity and rock properties. Stanches Sergey works on mechanic rock testing. Alexey Chermisin and extended group of professors work on enhanced oil recovery topics. Alexander Burukhin is representing digital core. Dmitry Karateev would help you with data science, and permafrost and gas hydrates will be represented by Evgeny Chuvilin. In terms of industrial immersion, we have a wide list of projects. First of all, we are a research industry oriented department. So all of our projects are connected somehow with real case problems from different industrial partners. So you will have the opportunity to work on your research master, for example, research within a task of some of this company, but also you will have the opportunity to work with these companies in industrial immersion. This list is quite extensive. Here is just some examples of previous projects of our graduates, represented with Gazprom, Aramco, Lukoil, Sakhalin Energy, and so on. what do you do after Skoltech? You can choose petroleum industry. You can do actually work in Rosneft, Zarubezhneft, and Gazpromneft. You can do research and development in such companies as CMG, Aramco, and etc. You can choose consulting, such as Big Three. You can create your own startup. Or you can choose an academic path, stay at Skoltech as a PhD and researcher, or choose any other university in the world. And this is the list of most interesting cases. Indeed, you can be anything. For example, this list of students are represented by Bolotska Ekaterina, who graduated from master program here and finished her PhD in MIT and continued her research in MIT as well. Some of the students, master students, continued their PhDs and then chose to work in research or in strategy, as Dinar Yermakova. Some people have achieved great success in business, such as Adenia Adebayo. Some people chose to work in management, as Yelena Gromova, or Maria Karelskaya works as a contract engineer in Total Energy. Or you can, as Evgeny Shilov, can choose to work on your own startup. And I will tell a little bit more about this beautiful in-house startup. This startup was created by Evgeny Shilov, our former student and currently researcher, with his supervisor Alexei Cheremishin. And this idea came up in 2017 with a real valid problem in the industry. They created a startup and then they received a grant, STRIP. Then they patented their own idea, but then received first few contracts. Now, for example, they have signed a few more contracts and received new rounds of investments. And this just means that you can do anything and we will help you as long as you work hard enough. What do we expect? We, of course, expect some petroleum-related bachelor degree or equivalent, IT, physics, chemistry, or mathematics. Your GPA should be higher than 4.5, and we expect you to be very motivated to work in oil and gas industry and go through online tests in mathematics, physics, chemistry, geology, and of course English. After completing these requirements, you will be, if you invited, you will be having a faculty interview, and of course you need to provide 2 recommendation letters from the industry. And that's all, and I will be happy to answer your questions.
Thank you, Ayselu. That's sounded really, really inspiring, especially to hear about the projects which Skoltech students and Skoltech graduates made. It's really exciting. So we do have several questions, by the way. So, dear professor, so anyway, I'm completing petroleum chemistry and refining program and currently working on corrosion inhibitors to protect equipment at oil fields. Can I apply and continue working on this particular project?
Of course, you can apply. We can work on this and apply your knowledge in particular field. However, we do not work with downstream. We work only on different production methods, but I'm sure that your knowledge will be helpful and applicable in our research.
Great. So we're waiting for your application then. The next question, do you have projects regarding fluid catalytic cracking?
Yes, we have we are working actually on catalytic effects on different AOR projects. Also, there is an interesting grant and research in in-situ generation of hydrogen, where we actually need some knowledge in catalyst. And yes, we will be waiting for you to apply.
Great. The other question about the admissions interview, what do you usually ask at the admissions interview?
We of course would like to hear about your previous research, and of course we would like to hear your contribution to this project and see that you will be able to solve problems and be able to adjust according to different situations.
Great. Thank you, Isilu, very much for this comprehensive explanation about the program. I'm pretty sure we will have, so for our viewers, everything is clear now. Thank you, and we will keep moving. Thanks. If you were to guess the most popular program at Skoltech, that would be right, data science. And today we have its program coordinator, Alexander Kontrutsa, and he will share about all these exciting opportunities awaiting data science students. Hello, Alexander.
Hello.
Welcome to our studio, online studio. And am I right as well that you are a graduate of this particular program too? Wow. So we are really lucky today, guys. So of course, Alexander, probably you will be able to share about your experience as well from student perspective, right?
Yes, sure.
Yeah, so the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. So the data science program at Skoltech is one of the most important, exciting master's program because we are going to present you and discuss during our courses how to analyze the large amount of data that is available in our world. So we will discuss in the courses how to extract knowledge, make a decision, and automate all this process. During the study data of different types like pictures, text and natural languages, audio, and other types of data that you can find in our world. So we have a lot of different courses. So 2 courses are mandatory, like numerical linear algebra, which is on this second term, where you will find all the mathematical background that is necessary to understand and efficiently apply all the further machine learning methods. And in the third term, you will have a machine learning course, which is devoted to the standard machine learning techniques that is crucial for the data analysis nowadays. Other courses you can find on your own, and they cover different fields of data science, like computer vision, natural language processing, biomedical imaging analysis, recommender system, reinforcement learning, and application of all these techniques in robotics, for example. Also, our program is focused mostly on the publications activities. So students start working on their thesis already in the third term, and you can see in the slide the example of publications that was designed during the study in our program. And all these publications are in the top-tier conferences in machine learning, which is encouraged by the program. Also, after the first year, students go to industry immersion with our partners. So we have a lot of partners from the company, and we propose the projects from the companies, and students select the project that they're interested in. And during the 2 months in the summer, students go to company and work on the practical programs. One of the most exciting projects in this year is projects in Gazprom Neft, Yandex, and Sber AI Lab. Also, after industry immersion, students can go to academic institutes for the PhD or for the academic positions, or to the industry. And in this slide, you can see that the distribution between the academia and industry directions where students go after the graduation of the program. Also, our program can provide access to the JRS cluster, where you can compute and solve high-dimensional problems, which can consist of a lot of CPUs and GPUs, and you can find there all resources that you need to create a good paper, a good study, and develop your own methods. So about admissions, we expect that candidates will have a solid background in mathematics and computer science. Also, we have some skills in programming and some basic fields of mathematics. And also, we have written exam additionally to the all standard steps that you can find in the admission process. So that's all. Thank you for your attention. Please apply for our program. We will give you good knowledge and you will have a great experience.
Thank you, Alexander, for this comprehensive explanation of the program. And we do really have questions. So I know that your program is very popular. Any piece of advice to improve portfolio and become more competitive?
Well, the main advice is you should provide a good CV, good presentation, and share your previous experience in the most relevant way. So if you have some papers, some projects, you should be able to explain in simple words what you have done and why is it good and why you do it in that way and not in another way. So provide your level of knowledge and your experience.
So this just leads us to the next question. So if I don't have any winnings in the competitions or don't have like companies and like industrial experience, will I be successful during the admission process?
Yes, you can be successful if you provide good knowledge of mathematics and programming skills. So that's if you have good base, our master's program will give you other ingredients of the successful future career.
So mathematics rules, actually, yes? So guys, don't forget about that. The next question is, could you please tell about the exam sessions at your program, like probably during studies, exam sessions?
Exam sessions organized in different ways because it depends on the courses. Since every course has its own policies, and you can discuss it during the supervisor in the beginning. And typically, every course is finished with some course project where you try to solve some practical problems with the methods that you studied during the course. So it's practical oriented mostly, and you can spend some time and understand how the theoretical concepts that you discuss during the course can be applied in the practical applications.
Okay, thank you. So if I want to be a student of a particular research scientist or professor, how to do that?
You should contact with him or her and discuss your future work and apply for the supervision as a scientific supervisor on your master thesis, and you can start work even in the beginning of your study, not necessarily in the third term as it is standardly scheduled.
So standardly scheduled, it's like third term, but if you would like to choose the particular one, so you can do it earlier. Okay, so this seems to be like all for the questions. Alexander, thank you very much.
Thank you.
It was really exciting actually to know about this very, very popular indeed program. Thank you.
Thank you.
So guys, and just like that, our program meeting marathon has come to an end. Unfortunately, I think, but I hope you are just like not tired. But in case you still have unanswered questions, feel free to contact us like via these contact details. And it's really like we want to do our best to answer questions as soon as possible, like usually during 24 hours. So, we will connect you with programs if needed. And I just like want to remind you that the deadline for master programs is July 10th. It's for master programs. Just in case you're interested in PhD programs, we have the deadline is July the 3rd. So in case you're interested in PhD programs, you still have a chance to participate in the selection process. And like more information is available at students@skoltech.io, like a lot of information, very useful tips, how to apply, how to write recommendation letters, etc. So feel free to dive in and you will get a lot of helpful tips. And so far, I'm looking forward to welcoming you actually at our selection. I personally would like to review your applications. We really would like to do that. And we wish you a lot of good luck and waiting for you here at Skoltech. So bye-bye.